Hello, Tamara Green here for A Course in Miracles, lesson number 135. All right, we're going to wake up our brain. We're going to take our little fingertips and start tapping all over the crown of your head, opening all that up, getting the circulation going, opening up energy channels that wrap all around our skull. All right, upper back, part of your brain, and then down the back, base of your skull, your temples, and then back and forth. And then the around your ears a few times, because the energy lines, the meridian lines, wrap around our ears. Okay, all around the neck. All right, we kind of wipe all the that came to the surface. We cross our wrists over and very gently release toxin from our lymph nodes on our neck. All right, very good, very good. Okay, A Course in Miracles, lesson number 135. I'm feeling very awake right now. Okay, if I defend myself, I am attacked. Who would defend himself unless he thought he were attacked? That the attack were real, and that his own defense could save himself. And herein lies the folly of defense. It gives illusion full reality and then attempts to handle them as real. It adds illusions to illusions, thus making correction doubly difficult. And it is this you do when you attempt to plan the future, activate the past, or organize the present as you wish. You operate from the belief you must protect yourself from what is happening because it must contain what threatens you. A sense of threat is an acknowledgement of an inherent weakness, a belief that there is danger which has power to call on you to make appropriate defense. The world is based on this insane belief, and all its structures, all its thoughts and doubts, its penalties and heavy armaments, its legal definitions and its codes, its ethics and its leaders and its gods all serve but to preserve its sense of threat. For no one walks the world in armature, but must have terror striking at its heart. Defense is frightening. It stems from fear, increasing fear as each defense is made. You think it offers safety, yet it speaks of fear made real and terror justified. It is not strange you do not pause to act. Is it not strange you do not pause to ask if you elaborate your plans and make your armor thicker and your locks more tight, what you defend and against what? Let us consider first what you defend. It must be something that is very weak and easily assaulted. It must be something made easy prey, unable to protect itself and needing your defense. What but the body has such frailty that constant care and watchful deep concern are needful to protect its little life? What but the body falters and must fail to serve the Son of God as worthy host? Yet it is not the body that can fear, nor a thing of fear. It has no needs but those which you assign to it. It needs no complicated structures of defense, no health-inducing medicine, no care and no concern at all. Defend its life, or give it gifts to make it beautiful, or walls to make it safe. Safe, and you but say your home is open to a thief of time, corruptible and crumbling, so unsafe, it must be guarded with your very life. Is not this picture fearful? Can you be at peace with such a concept of your home? Yet, what endowed the body with the right to serve you, thus accept your own belief? It is your mind which gave the body all the functions that you see in it, and set its value far beyond a little pile of dust and water. Who would make the defense of something that he recognized as this? The body is in need of no defense. This cannot be too often emphasized. It will be strong and healthy if the mind does not abuse it by assigning it to roles it cannot fill, to purposes beyond its scope, and to exalted aims which it cannot accomplish. Such attempts, ridiculous yet deeply cherished, are the sources for the many mad attacks you make upon it. For it seems to fail your hopes, your needs, your values, and your dreams. The self that needs protection is not real. The body, valueless and hardly worth the least defense, need merely be perceived as quite apart from you, and it becomes a healthy, serviceable instrument through which the mind can operate until its usefulness is over. Who would want to keep it when its usefulness is done? Defend the body and you have attacked your mind, for you have seen it in the faults, the weaknesses, the limits, and the lacks from which you think the body must be saved. You will not see the mind as separate from the bodily conditions, and you will impose upon the body all the pain that comes from the conception of the mind as limited and fragile and apart from other minds and separate from its source. These are the thoughts in need of healing, and the body will respond with health when they have been corrected and replaced with truth. This is the body's own real defense, only real defense. Yet, is this where you look for its defense? You offer it protection of a kind from which it gains no benefit at all, but merely adds to your distress of mind. You do not heal, but merely take away the hope of healing, for you fail to see where hope must lie if it be meaningful. A healed mind does not plan. It carries out the plans that it receives through listening to wisdom that is not its own. It waits until it has been taught what should be done and then proceeds to do it. It does not depend upon itself for anything except its adequacy to fulfill the plans assigned to it. It is secure in certainty that obstacles cannot impede its progress to accomplishment of any goal that serves the greater plan established for the good of everyone. A healed mind is relieved of the belief that it must plan, although it cannot know the outcome which is best, the means by which it is achieved, nor how to recognize the problem that the plan is made to solve. It must misuse the body in its plan until it recognizes this is so. But when it has accepted this as true, then it is healed and lets the body go. Enslavement of the body to the plans the unhealed mind sets up to save itself must make the body sick. It is not free to be the means of helping in a plan which far exceeds its own protection and which needs its service for a little while. In this capacity is health assured. For everything the mind employs for this will function flawlessly and with the strength that has been given it and cannot fail. It is perhaps not easy to perceive that self-initiated plans are but defenses. With the purpose all of them were made to realize. They are the means by which a frightened mind would undertake its own protection at the cost of truth. This is not difficult to realize in some forms which these self-deceptions take, where the denial of reality is very obvious, yet planning is not often recognized as a defense. The mind engaged in planning for itself is occupied in setting up control of future happenings. It does not think that it will be provided for unless it makes its own provisions. Time becomes a future emphasis to be controlled by learning and experience obtained from past events and previous beliefs. It overlooks the present, for it rests on the idea that the past has taught enough to let the mind direct its future course. The mind that plans is thus refusing to allow for change. What it has learned before becomes the basis for its future goals. Its past experience directs its choice of what will happen, and it does not see that here and now is everything it needs to guarantee a future quite unlike the past, without a continuity of any old ideas and sick beliefs. Anticipation plays no part at all, for present confidence directs the way. Defenses are the plans you undertake to make against the truth. Their aim is to select what you approve and disregard what you consider incompatible with your beliefs of your reality. Yet what remains is meaningless indeed. For it is your reality that is the threat which your defenses would attack, obscure, and take apart and crucify. What could you not accept if you but knew that everything that happens, all events, past, present, and to come, are greatly planned by one whose only purpose is your good? Perhaps you have misunderstood his plan, for he would never offer pain to you, but your defenses did not let you see his loving blessings shine in every step you ever took. While you made plans for death, he led you gently to eternal life. Your present trust in him is the defense that promises a future undisturbed, without a trace of sorrow, and with joy that constantly increases as this life becomes a holy instant, set in time, but heeding only immortality. Let no defenses but your present trust direct the future, and this life becomes a meaningful encounter with the truth that only your defenses could conceal. Without defenses, you become a light which heaven gratefully acknowledges to be its own, and it will lead you in ways appointed for your happiness according to the ancient plan begun when time was born. Your followers will join their light with yours, and it will be increased until the world is lighted up with joy. And gladly will our brothers lay aside their cumbersome defenses, which avails them nothing and could only terrify. We will anticipate that time today with present confidence, for this is part of what was planned for us. We will be sure that everything we need is given us for our accomplishment of this today. We make no plans for how it will be done, but realize that our defenselessness is all that is required for the truth to dawn upon our minds with certainty. For 15 minutes twice a day, we rest from the senseless planning and from every thought that blocks the truth from entering our minds. Today we will receive instead of plan, that we may give instead of organize, and we are given truly, as we say, if I defend myself, I am attacked. But in defenselessness, I will be strong, and I will learn what my defenses hide. Nothing but that, if there are plans to make, you will be told of them. They may not be the plans you thought were needed, nor indeed the answers to the problems which you thought confronted you, but they are answers to another kind of question which remains unanswered, yet in need of answering until the answer comes to you at last. All your defenses have been aimed at not receiving what you will receive today, and in light the joy of simple trust, you will but wonder why you ever thought that you must be defended from release. Heaven asks nothing. It is hell that makes extravagant demands for sacrifice. You give up nothing in these times today when undefended, you present yourself to your Creator as you really are. He has remembered you. Today, we will remember Him. For this is Easter time in your salvation, and you rise again from what was seeming death and hopelessness. Now is the light of hope reborn in you, for now you come without defense to learn the part for you within the plan of God. What little plans or magical beliefs can still have value when you have received your functions from the voice for God Himself. Try not to shape this day as you believe would benefit you most, for you cannot conceive of all the happiness that comes to you without your planning. Learn today, and all the world will take this giant stride and celebrate your Easter time with you. Throughout the day, as foolish little things appear to raise defensiveness in you and tempt you to engage in weaving plans, remind yourself this is a special day for learning, and acknowledge it with this. This is my Easter time, and I would keep it holy. I will not defend myself, because the Son of God needs no defense against the truth of His reality. So lesson number 135 is, if I defend myself, I am attacked. Okay. So when I was guided to do the daily lessons of A Course in Miracles, I reported much earlier on that there was some resistance, some fear. Yeah, how am I supposed to put out these message and maybe even give my own little understanding, or I don't even want to say interpretation, but understanding of these messages, or maybe little stories. How am I to do this? And the message I just kept getting over and over was, there's nothing to plan here. Just do it. Just do it, and you will see. Just do it, and have faith that you are deeply guided in this process. And boy, is that true. So when I read through this lesson, I always read it through before I present it to you all the way through. Read it again, basically. It was clear that the guidance for me to share with you today was a deeply, deeply powerful spiritual experience that I had probably some 15 years back. So I was with my beautiful, such a beautiful healing soul, who would do kind of like hypnotherapy, but it was even beyond hypnotherapy. She would bring a massage table into my home. I would lay on my back, and she would kind of hover her hands over, my third eye and my throat chakra and my heart chakra and, the crown chakra and different parts. And she would begin to, you could just feel, she would ask questions. She would begin to ask questions. And for me as the recipient, I could feel energy begin to move. And I remember laying down on that massage table and having such a strong feeling that I was going to be going on some kind of special trip, some kind of special adventure. And she must have been picking up on it as well, even though there was no words said between us. So she just kept having me breathe in light and love and just exhale complete relaxation and letting go and complete allowing. So much so that I got into a very, very, very deep, deep space of real peace, even love, and complete letting go, complete relaxation. And the next thing I know, I felt, and my eyes are completely closed, but I felt my spirit lift out of my body. And at the time, I didn't quite recognize it as my spirit lifting up out of my body. But I lifted up and felt as light as a feather. And I sort of drifted up, and before I knew it, I was with a beautiful, loving guide. His name is Adama, and he told me that he was or is from Lemuria, and he asked me to turn around and to look down at my body that was still on the massage table, and he wanted me to know that beautiful body was very, very safe. So I didn't need to worry about anything, just to allow myself this experience, and he was going to guide me. But when I looked down at my body, I noticed that it was not lying completely on the massage table. It was literally about 2 inches off that table, sort of hovering, but in deep, deep, deep peace, even surrounded with a light and a love. I just could feel the love that the actual body was surrounded in. And he gives me his hand. I take his hand, and he tells me, we're not speaking words, it's all through telepathy. I know what he's thinking, he knows what I'm thinking, and he tells me that we're going to go home. And next thing I knew, I was an infant, a baby just born, and completely swaddled in, a warm blanket. And I was being passed around from one beautiful soul to the next, and I would look directly into their eyes, and I saw my Lemurian family, and they looked at me with such joy, and I received their love and their joy, and it was this really give and take of love and joy with each other, with each face as I got passed around this big circle of my Lemurian family. And in retrospect, I'll just take a little moment off that story to share that their bodies were not quite see-through, but very, very, very light. It was almost like you could see the cells sort of dancing around as if they weren't like all together and as one, but they were kind of dancing, and very, very light in terms of, light like from sunlight, but also light as a feather light. You could tell they were very, very tall, beautiful, really beautiful people. They looked like they were maybe in their mid-30s, just gorgeous, gorgeous, very tall, fit, lovely, loving, loving, loving people. And I got passed around to all my family. And then Adama took my hand again, and suddenly I was, older, like maybe in my teens. I don't know, the number 18 comes to me. And I was walking with him, and he wanted to show me how the mind how they use their mind to instantly manifest whatever it is that they want to create. And we walked over to this absolutely gorgeous, just hilly area, just covered with stunning grass and trees. There was even a rainbow in the background and a waterfall. And there were lions that were lying next to even deer and rabbits, and all kinds of animals from the animal kingdom were just kind of hanging out in pure peace together. It just was such a scene. It was amazing. And he showed me how they created their homes. And literally, it was as if I understood his thoughts without him speaking anything, and he understood mine. And I was understanding that he was asking quartz crystal to become like a brick that would then create this home. And he wasn't moving anything, but he was directing it exactly where to be placed. So about maybe 10 feet in front of him, each quartz crystal kind of block, glass quartz crystal block was being placed as he created this beautiful, gorgeous dome of a home. And of course, I was just filled with awe, filled with wonder, filled with excitement, and just so filled with gratitude. So grateful that I was having this experience of being home with my true spiritual family from the light realm. And he said, you will be back, but it's time for you to go back. And just know that this is how the world, the truth of who you are, and the truth of how this universe really does work. It's instantaneous. Your body is for your function, but it's not who you are. Who you are is this beautiful light being, this spirit of pure light and love. And anything is possible. Absolutely anything is possible. And no planning is needed, because the presence is what life really is. In the present moment, anything is created, like that beautiful dome home made of quartz crystal. So when I came back to I gratefully said my goodbyes and told him how much I loved him, my family, and went back to my body. And as soon as Kelly, the healer, the energy healer that was working with me, she told me later that she sensed that I came back into my physical body. And at that point, I'll never forget it. I burst out crying with absolute pure joy. It was the most incredible journey of my life. It was absolutely beautiful. I just couldn't help but cry and cry and cry from pure joy. And when I finally settled down, she told me that my body literally was hovering over the massage table for about 30 minutes. And to me, it just felt like it was an instant, because there is no time where I went. It's just one present moment after the next present moment after the next present moment. There was no sense of time at all. But she said for 30 minutes, she knew that her job was to just be present with my physical body as it hovered over the massage table. And then she said also the heart was beating, but breath was not present. And she knew, thank goodness, she was so experienced in what she was doing. She knew that all was well because she knew that my spirit lifted up. And for those moments, my body didn't need to breathe while my spirit was on this incredible journey. So if I honestly tell you why I was guided to share this deeply spiritual experience that I had, I'm really not sure, but that's okay because it's only the egoic mind that has to know. But I know for a fact, especially since that day, I am not my body. It's mine to serve my free will here in this, human body and having this human experience on planet Earth. But I am not my body. However, my body is mine to serve my own free will. Your body is not yours. I mean, it's not you, but it's yours. And it's, when you have that kind of a spiritual experience and you see the realm where we come from, it's our home. Not necessarily that you came from Lemuria, probably some other star seed, but it's clear that we are love and light, and that's how it operates in that realm. And this is what we are doing together now, because we can't do it by ourselves. Together, as one by one, but as one, for our brothers and our sisters and for the whole planet. We are heading toward that, just like that vision that I saw. Peace, love, harmony, lightness, no illness, no age, no death. Just eternal love and light and complete peace among all humans and animals. It's quite amazing. I'm very happy to share that with you. And I hope that helps you in some way. Please let me know. Go ahead and leave comments, as, what that brought up for you or any questions. All right. Thank you for listening. And thank you for being on this journey with me. It's so important. All right. Have a beautiful day. Bye for now.